All right, with problem 8, we're not. If we were writing the equation, you're right. It would be y equals mx plus b. Okay, but in this one, we're just coming up with the slope. It just asks us for the slope, right? So, what letter do we use for slope?
B. Right.
Nope.
Damn it.
Close. The other one.
Y.
No, not that one.
X. N.
M.
God damn it.
Alright. So remember, this is x, this is y, this is x, this is y, right? But this is the first one and this is the second one, right? And they give you that convoluted equation, right, for slope. Slope is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And some people even go further, because later you're going to be learning that, it's also equal to the difference of y over the difference of x. Now, triangle in this case doesn't mean triangle. The triangle in this case actually means the difference. And this is actually a calculus term. You're starting to learn a little bit of calculus right here. The reason is that in calculus, we use slope. It's everything. It's what we use it for. Okay? So we want to find the derivatives and stuff like that. So in calculus, this is your start. Right? So we start showing you the difference in y and the difference in x. Right? And some teachers even teach this like, okay, I could graph this. Right? And then I could go 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I can do 1, 2. And so now I've got this slope, right, that I'm dealing with. And it's the difference between the y's, right, and the x. It's like, what's the difference here? So what is this difference, right? From here, what is x? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And then what is y from here to here, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So I know that the slope is the difference of these and this. Now here I'm going down from left to right, right? So this is actually a difference of negative 8 because I'm going down. And I'm going right, so it's a positive 6. So in this case, the difference in y is equal to negative 8. And the difference in x is equal to 6. And this is the way they teach it, right? Some teachers, and I teach it, right? And so I have my slope. That's the slope, right? So m equals negative 8 over 6. Right? But sometimes it's not that easy, right? Because they give you decimals or fractions and stuff like that, right? Things you got to plug in your calculator, right? So then we need another way to do it. We need an actual method. It's like when we're solving an equation, right? 3x plus 2, right? 3x plus 2 equals 8, right? And you can go, okay, x is 2, because 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 plus 2 is 8, right? But then when we go 3x plus 2 equals 7, I'm not sure what that is, right? So you need a method to be able to figure out that problem. Okay? So here also we need to reduce this, of course. What number goes into 6 and 8? 4, 2. Okay? 2 goes in how many times? Negative 4 times. 2 goes in how many times? 3. Is anything going in those two numbers? Just 1? Good. Alright, so when you get to 1, you're done. Okay? So that's your slope. right? And that's how you would find it. But there's another way, and that's that plugging it in to here, to this function. But a lot of us, like I told you before, I have dyslexia, so I have a hard time sometimes plugging it into formulas, right? So I've trained myself some ways to do this. And so with this, I use that flip it and smack it method. Okay? Flip it, smack it. And we do this a lot. Remember, flip it, smack it, rub it down, flip it, smack it. You know, so we just gotta know which one's what. Flip it, smack it is it's dealing with slopes. Okay? And so with flip it, I need to, in fact, and some people call this stack it and smack it, right? Because some of my students decide, well, it's like stacking it. It's not like flipping. I don't get what you mean by flipping it. Right? Okay, fine. If you want to call it stack it and smack it, I'm cool with that. The whole reason why I called it flip it and smack it is because of the song, right? Way back in '98. Okay, so you want to stack it and smack it, that's fine with me. The whole key here is that the y is on top. The y is above the x, right? So when I grab these letters, or these numbers, I have -6 over 2. I'm just flipping it, I'm stacking it. -6 over 2. Okay? And then I have 2 over -4, because the y is on top. So 2 over -4. Now, there it is. Okay? Then, I smack it. I smack it up top, I smack it down low, and I run it. Okay? Okay. Really easy. I always tell that story of how I told my daughter, if somebody grabs you from behind, you flip around, you smack them in the throat, you smack them in the groin, and you run. It's a simple way of remembering this flipping and smacking. Yeah.
It says y2 minus y1. Why is it y1?
Exactly, right? So like the way I always do it is, and in the books they always have it as y sub 2 minus y sub 1, right? But if they have a plus, they always do y sub 1 plus y sub 2. But the funniest thing is, it doesn't matter which way you do it as long as you do it in both the same. What I mean by that is, if you have the y2 here, then you have to have the x2 here. If you have the y1 here, you have to have the x1 here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's the key. So why they don't write this as y sub 1 minus y sub 2 over x sub 1 minus x sub 2, I've always wondered, and the only thing I've come up with over the 15 years, 20 years of teaching is because they're trying to show you a difference between subtraction and then when you do a formula with addition. Right? Because remember, midpoint formula? Midpoint is x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2, and y sub 1 plus y sub 2 divided by 2. Right? That's midpoint. So, this is the only reason that I can come up with, is that because this is subtraction, they want to put the 2 first minus the 1. So, but it really doesn't matter. Okay? Because if we change these, then this becomes 1 or 2 and this becomes 1, right?
Yeah.
But it's still going to be the same thing, right? We're still going to find the same slope. Does that make sense? Okay. So then you just do the math. -6 minus 2 is -8. And 2 minus minus plus is 6. And then again, we break it down with the 2. And we get -4 over 3. And that's M. And so those 2 ways of solving for slope. Did it make it? All right.